Hello everyone, this is Jojo.
This is Arman. Welcome to Think with Lachance.
Have you read the feed industry news recently?
Feed industry have news every day. Which one do you mean?
I'm meaning the news that the feed pricing are rising. Since August the 1st, nearly 20 companies such as the New Hope, Zhengbang and DBN has issued the feed price increasing again. With a average increase of 75 to 100 RMB per ton, it's reported by CCTV. Many manufacturers have increased their formula feed price from 2,400 to 2,005 RMB per ton in June and July. In June to July, many feed companies have already had twice the price increases.
There are so many kinds of the feed. Which feed price have increased?
The commercial feed is mainly divided into three kinds: compound feed, premix feed, and concentrated feed. Among them, the compound feed is the main focus of production and sales. The compound feed is pre-added with corn and soybean meal, which can be directly used by the farmers after purchasing. While the premix and the concentrated treated feed should be added corn and soybean meal by farmers themselves.
What happened in the feed industry? Why are there such intensive price adjustments?
The price risk of the compound feed is mainly affected by the price of bulk raw materials such as corn and soybean meal. So corn price rose sharply. Corn futures rose from RMB 2,300 RMB per ton. It is the highest price in the last 4 years. In August 2020, the price of soybean meal is RMB 3,020 RMB per ton, which is RMB 106 higher than that of the last month.
I don't think it's a problem to raise the price of the feed raw materials. I think can the price of the feed rise?
Let's look at a group of data. Although the price of raw materials has generally risen by more than 20%, the price of feed has increased by less than 15%. This is mainly because the downstream farmers are more sensitive to the price, and each feed factory compete for users fiercely, lead to the feed factory dare not raise the price. There is unwritten regulation in the feed industry. Who increased the price first? Who die first? The first feed company to increase the price is the customers will buy feed from other feed companies, and once this fixed customer is lost, it will be very difficult to recover.
Oh, so in just 2 or 3 months, feed price have risen by nearly 15%. What is the impact of such price increase and on downstream dealers and the farmers?
For the dealers, it's much harder to sell the feed, and for the farmers, their production cost is increased.
Oh, indeed. In modern broiler breeding and feed industry, both farmers and feed factories are pursuing lower feed costs invest and higher return, which determined by the particularity of the breeding industry. Only in this way can the feed factory get enough benefits.
Yes, with the aggravation of market competitions, the profit margin of both the feed factories and farmers are becoming thinner and thinner, which requires the factories to continuously improve the production efficiency and gain advantage position in the fierce marketing competition.
Especially in the epidemic period, when the price of the raw materials is rising, more and more attention has been paid to optimizing feed to and breeding method and reduce cost. However, there is a problem we need to face it in today's increasing the stable feed formula. How can we reduce the cost?
Indeed. Such as the feed industry, today's formula has been very mature to maximize the growth of the broiler. But there is also a problem. In order to promote the growth of broiler, overdosage fat is added into the feed. This overdosage fat causes overfeeding, increase the feed cost, and feed waste. It brings a heavy burden to the liver of broilers.
Broiler breeders need not only fast growth but also the low FCR. Therefore, the worst of the feed will reduce the breeding benefit.
In China, the FCR of broilers improved from 1.75 to 1.65 in recent years. This shows that the farmers are always pursue the lower FCR.
Yeah, FCR is so important. So, what should we do to reduce the feed cost?
Here we will share with you some tips to reduce cost. Firstly, as we mentioned above, overdosage fat is usually added into the feed. Then we can reduce the oil content.
Reduce oil content. Does that affect the growth rate of the broiler?
Of course not. Also, the oil content is reduced. We can improve the utilization rate of the oil. For example, we can add bile acids to feed, which is a natural component, can promote the emulsification of fat, activity lipids, promote the digestion and the absorption of fat. So as to improve the utilization rate of fat, it cannot only reduce the amount of fat added, but also maintain or even improve the production performance of broilers. According to our experience and the experimental data, every 200 grams of bile acids can reduce 13 to 15 calories per ton of feed by reducing the addition of expensive raw materials such as oil.
It is amazing. Use the natural ingredient to improve the utilization rate of the oil and the fat can greatly save the cost of the feed. Is there any other way?
Yes, now the global feed industry is discarding the low protein dairies, which can save feed costs and reduce the emissions. Adding the feed additive to feed can improve the digestion and absorption rate of fat, thus reducing the decomposition of protein as energy and improving the utilization rate, absorption rate, and the deposition rate of feed protein.
Can you show us some data?
Of course, we have plenty of customer data. Adding 200 grams of bile acids can reduce 0.3 to 0.5 protein per ton of feed after adjusting the formula.
It can save both oil and protein. It killing two birds with one stone. There are two kinds of the raw materials are the expensive raw materials, which are main parts of the feed cost.
Saving these two materials can save cost, of course. We can not only reduce the dosage, but we can also use other products to replace it, such as the sunflower meal, DDGS, peanut meal, and some other raw materials can replace the original formula of meat, bone meal, soybean meal, to make full use of the local cheap protein raw materials. However, if the quality of these raw materials is not stable, it will lead to a heavy burden to the liver of broilers. Bile acids have the function of protecting the liver health, which can reduce the damage of unconventional raw materials to liver.
Mycotoxins are not global problems. We have added a lot of the toxin binder to feed to solve the mycotoxin problems. As far as I know, the mycotoxins are mainly removed by the toxin binder. Can the bile acid you mentioned replace the toxin binder?
The addition of 200 gram bile acids can also reduce the content of the mycotoxin binder by 15%. Bile acids bind to the mycotoxin in animals and stimulate the liver to produce thinner bile as the secretory fluid of the body can remove the mycotoxin from the body after binding or removing mycotoxin. In addition, the active component of bile acids can repair damaged hepatocytes and ensure healthy and normal liver detoxification.
It is amazing. Bile acid can provide us with so many ways to reduce feed costs. But how much cost can be saved? Can you share with us?
Of course, we have plenty of cases all over the world. Using the above methods, we can ensure that your cost per ton of feed can be reduced by at least 2.5 US dollars. At the same time, adding bile acids can stabilize the feed quality, optimize the feed formula, and achieve better feed and breeding effect.
So, if our audience in front of the screen want to add bile acid and adjust the formula, what should they do?
First of all, you are welcome to contact with us through the contact information at the end of the live show for our formula kits. And then, according to the formula you are using now, we can supply you adjustment suggestions to reduce cost.
Great. By this way, it is not necessary to improve the price for feed selling and lose customers, but also reduce the feed cost and increase the profit margin. The new podcast is full of useful knowledge, but it's time to say goodbye to our audience again. We all see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.